what do we say? This is a grab bag episode, which I think is the
Welcome to,
official term of
welcome to our grab bag.
grab into our bat. No,
Welcome to our,
or
is that hyphenated or
I don't
just
know.
grab bag? You should know, Ellen.
Absolutely.
You
It's
should
my
know,
first
Ellen.
time talking. Okay, listen. It's my first time being a human. It's my first time using the word grab bag. It's my first time spelling the word grab bag. I don't know what happens if you put them together. It's definitely not grabag. If it were just one word,
Yeah, it would be a
that'd be funny, but I kind of like it. Grabbing.
garbage
It
bag.
it looks so it's almost an onomatopoeia. Can we call it our garb barg? Welcome to or our grab barg. Then it would be not an onomatopoeia. Good Lord.
What's
Uh
happening?
uh palindrome.
Alliteration.
Jeez.
Palindrome.
A palindrome.
Oh,
Grab barg.
I have a friend who really likes palindromes.
Do you want to know what my favorite palindrome is?
Yes.
That's the correct answer. Good job. Mr. Owl ate my metal worm.
Oh,
Yeah. We had a
there's,
book of palindromes in the library in grade school. I wonder if it's still in the Lincoln School Library. I'll have to ask Camden to take a look for it. But that was a favorite. We'd always, if we had spare time in the library, we'd
huh,
get out the book of palindromes. And there were many, but that is the only one that really stuck with me as far as
stuck with
like
you.
a long form palindrome. Race car, auto, Hannah. Obviously, these are easy peasies, but Mr. Owl ate my metal worm.
Darn it, Mr. Owl. It's probably not safe for you to eat a metal worm.
Oh,
So maybe Mr. Owl was doing you a favor.
because
Oh,
otherwise I totally would have eaten that worm.
you would
You
have
know
eaten that
me.
metal worm and
I
it would
see
have
a
been.
worm and I'm like, I can't help it. I can't help it. I got to eat
Oh,
it.
speaking of worms, didn't
What?
mean to segue into this. They're all over our
No.
backyard
Oh, your
and
backyard.
it stinks. It stinks so bad. I cannot even go back there. I mean, imagine a swamp all of a sudden existed in your yard and then it just stayed and didn't leave. And the smell stayed with it.
Oh,
It's
oh.
gross. It's
Okay. Well, I
amazing.
have so many questions, but
Yeah.
let's official welcome, I
You know what,
suppose. Get
everyone?
this beautiful thing
Welcome.
started.
Welcome to episode 51.
Mm.
51 of what is this? This is Millennial Mom Thoughts.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm Helen Plevka-Jones. I am
I'm
safely on a second
still Jordan
floor right
Spiegelmeier.
now. You are Jordan Spiegelmeier, but
Yeah.
believe it or not, you are in your basement.
Yikes.
And why don't you tell everyone what's been going on? Let's give us the full breakdown, but also a current status update. I mean, you're in the basement, it's not underwater, but how
No, no. Yeah, Wednesday
I
night. I don't know what date that was. What was the date of Wednesday? Does it really
don't
matter?
know.
The
I don't know
tw
what today is.
19th?
I just had to
Today's the
date something
23rd.
and I
The
thought it
19th.
was like the
The
15th.
night.
So, okay.
The
Anyway, yes.
19th. Uh, thunderstorm, understatement. It just, all of the rain that seems to have ever existed just came down all at once. And w- I I knew that it was going to rain. I had no idea it was going to be this
Mhm.
much. Maybe no one did,
I
but
mean, it like stagnated. That's what I
it
saw in
just
it
stayed
just
there.
stayed
And
over and there was nothing in East Peoria. I mean,
it's
maybe rain, but not
crazy.
like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
the line it has to end somewhere. So some spot it is raining and some spot it is not. Well, all of the rain came over Morton and just one particular section of Morton,
Hmm.
which happens to be the one that I live in.
Hmm.
Um, it was like nothing I've ever seen. The raindrops were really big and it just seemed like this is just a lot of rain. Like,
Hmm.
no, I'm gonna keep saying the word rain, but it just felt out of the ordinary of
Hmm.
even a torrential downpour. But uh what really made me get nervous was our backyard, which slopes down ever so slightly. It's not like some dramatic hill or anything.
Hmm.
There's not a
Yeah, I
huge
wouldn't have
grade.
even known. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and it started to fill with water in our backyard. And that there's one other time where like standing water
Mhm.
just once has happened. It was before Camden was born. So 2018 or 19 maybe. Um, and it got to be kind of swampy, muddy, but it was nothing, and it just kept coming closer to the house. So the water was rising and rising in our backyard, which does not normally ever take on water like that, and then getting closer and closer to the house. And I thought, What happens if this reaches the house? It's clearly not
Hmm.
draining. It's not going anywhere." Well, everything's so saturated. There's no place for it to go. It's too much water all at once. Our basement, whatever flaws there are in
Yeah,
the
you're
foundation.
notoriously floody basement.
Well,
Like,
what's interesting is the one side that normally does the floody
Mhm.
flood was like, "Oh, I'm fine."
Oh my
So it's a
gosh.
different spot.
Oh, gee
But
whiz.
so Brian was like, "This is bad." I'm trying. It was around bedtime for Camden and
Hmm.
Lily. And, he can't fill, we don't have a utility sink or anything down here. There's no like drain in the basement. We have a sump pump. Thank God it was working, but it's sealed because they do that
Hmm.
radon remediation
Hmm.
thing. Like it's sealed because of that. I guess you
Yep.
can apparently you can crack it open if you need to. I
Okay.
did not know this.
Yeah.
Knew this after the fact. But so Brian's, sucking up water, and in literally not even a minute, in seconds, this small dinky 5-gallon shop vac is
Hmm.
is just filling. And he's having to dump it into the washing machine because again, we don't have a place to dump it. And he can't
Gosh.
fill the larger shop vac we have because then you can't, it's too heavy. You can't
It's
lift it.
right.
So anyways, a friend came by and dropped off, saved the day with a pool pump.
Hmm.
Didn't even know about these things.
Yeah. I
Guess what
didn't
we're
either.
gonna buy? We're gonna
Uh-huh.
buy ourselves a pool pump. Do we have a pool? Well, hopefully not
Hopefully
anymore.
not
But
again. Yeah.
so then he could fill a larger shop vac and then
Yeah.
pump that water
Out.
out through the pool, pump up a hose, up the stairs, into our bathtub.
Oh
So,
my gosh. I
and that just
already have
went,
a headache
uh,
thinking about it.
and it was flooding, actively flooding for over 24 hours. Like water just kept coming in because there was nowhere else
Yeah.
for it to go.
There's no, yeah. Gosh.
Deep, deep sigh.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
stressful. It's just
it's
one other
immensely
the
stressful.
the silver lining is like really nothing got ruined. Anything we
Mhm.
have that's in the basement, it's in plastic bins,
Yeah.
anything that's sitting on the floor. Um, Now we have so much stuff in the basement that I would like to not think about what's now underneath the
Yeah.
plastic bins that are sitting on the floor. We've got fans pointing, but another day. The
Absolutely.
carpeted side did get wet, not
Yeah.
surprisingly, so fans were on that as well. But
Hmm.
all in all, no significant loss
Wow.
other than sanity for a little
Sanity,
while and sleep and
energy.
sleep.
Yeah.
Brian was up. I mean, he was doing that. He started when he got home, I don't know, around 7, and then he didn't go to bed until 10 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And
So,
then he's at work at what, like 1 or something? Is that what
yeah,
you
he
told me?
left to go to
At
work, and then
1.
it was like
Yeah.
I gotta get them to or pick Camden up from school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when I came back, there's a bunch of standing
Of
water that
course.
then I'm, sucking up with the shop vac and just waiting
Yeah.
for it to
To
end.
end. Oh my gosh.
And it did.
Absolute nightmare.
And then yesterday it poured again.
It did. I know. I was
Thankfully,
thinking of you.
nothing happened. I mean, the towel that's next to the wet spot got
Hmm.
a little more wet, so I'll just be replacing that towel and not a whole shop vac full of
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, that seems doable. No, and at
Yeah,
least you
so
didn't other silver lining sarcastically, pessimistically, at least you didn't have a gorgeous new deck to get ruined in the rain.
no, have we not even I don't even know if I've updated the
Oh,
deck saga.
geez.
Guess what? Still not done
No,
over a
yeah,
year
yeah.
later.
Okay.
So it's August. It started in July of 2025. It is end of August 2026. Said deck still not done.
Wild,
The
wild.
joys of
No, but
home ownership.
exactly. And that's what I mean. Never a good time for these things to happen. Never,
No,
never a
no.
convenient time, but especially first week of school for the kids,
Right?
hopping into busy band season for Brian. You're getting,
Oh,
I'm sure,
Lord.
back into your coaching or tutoring,
You
academic
know,
success coach tutoring
I
cycle?
haven't even
Nah.
like
Yeah.
I've been I need to advertise it.
Yeah.
A necessary use of social media for me as for that. But
Hmm.
um yeah, I have not put anything out that, hey, this exists. And most of, I think all of my students that I had last year, thankfully are doing really,
Yeah. I guess
they're
that's
doing really
yeah.
great. So it's
Yeah.
almost a bad business model for me
Yeah. It's like
'cause
a
it's like
dating
they
app.
don't
It's
need
like
me
the goal is
anymore.
to get off, but obviously
Yeah.
that's not necessarily how dating apps work, except for that one that advertises itself that way. What is it? The one it like disappears.
Oh, I
You know
don't
what I'm talking
know.
about? It's that Hinge. I don't know.
See, that's
As
after me. I don't know. I
I
didn't use them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but that's,
So,
I mean, who has the bandwidth? But yeah,
anyways,
that and just when
maybe
things
I'll
happen to
get
your,
back in
like you
there.
said, joys of home ownership, but when it like when things out of your control just
Yes,
literally flood into your
literal.
space,
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
love
know, at
it.
least in my
Water's a
experience,
nightmare.
a big just loss of control and ability to do anything
Yes.
about it. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
hope you're giving yourself grace, even going into this hopefully nice, neutral, normal week. I'm
We'll
sure your
see.
nervous system is still recovering, so I hope
A
you're
little
kind to
bit.
yourself
A little bit.
and you give yourself some room to breathe. And despite the too much water, I hope you're hydrating. That's
Yes,
always
I still am. I know
uh
there were moments where I was like, can we
yeah.
even, like, should we flush our toilet? Should we use the bath? Like,
Sure.
where, I mean, I know that's not going into the ground,
I don't
but
know
there
how it
were, you
works.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh,
Otherwise,
oh.
that
Lisa
explains the
said
smell.
it's still wormy out there. Hannah said
Yeah,
she saw a dead fish on the side of the road
it's
from,
crazy.
because I mean, I'm sure you saw the videos. The creek was all the way up to the
Yes.
street level, and poor
Above.
one of my
Yeah.
nieces was at a friend's house, and so when the parents came to take her home, like they couldn't
Scary.
cross the street. And so she's literally like watching her on the other side, just like wanting to give your daughter a hug and
Yeah.
not being able to see her but not reach her. Scary, scary stuff. And also, apparently, if you want to learn more about this weather system that came through, who knew that the Central Illinois meteorologists have a podcast? Were you already
Oh,
familiar with Shooting the Breeze?
no.
It's a video podcast for anyone who wants to spend, at least this episode was 40 plus minutes, sitting and watching your local weather people talk about the weather.
I mean,
And it was
everybody
like
has a
episode
podcast, you
100,
know?
140 or something. And I
Wow.
was like, I say this as someone who used to like pleasure watch Local on the Eights. You remember Local on the Eights on the Weather
No,
Channel?
no.
Every 10 minutes, like on the eights, they do your local weather update. And like I
Okay.
would go to the Weather Channel at like, ooh, it's 108. Ooh, it's 118. Ooh, like just to watch Local
Okay.
on the Eights for fun. I was obsessed with weather. I wanted to be a
Yeah.
just, but as speaking as that person and also realizing like, okay, speaking as a person who puts out an hour plus podcast every week, that's mostly
Right.
just me and
Just us talking.
just talking about each other, talking about life, talking about things. Still, who is watching, let alone listening, you can do anything for 40 minutes, but like sitting in dedicated
Are they watching weather
watching people.
videos?
Sometimes that's how I found out about it because Hannah's video, which was technically Mike's video that Hannah
Oh,
sent in of the creek, got
yes. It's on
featured
the
on
pod.
yeah. So maybe we'll link this in our show notes.
Do we
And
have to feature her
for
video now
uh-huh,
on the pod?
uh-huh.
Maybe I can add it to
But
our
I know that
Instagram
our like
post.
non-local listeners are just absolutely, dying
Oh,
to get their
yes.
hands on this show, which
Yeah.
also, ironically, ironically, I don't know, but does remind me that Millennial Mom Thoughts did get a shout out on my friend's podcast. So I'll shout them right back
What?
on Go Kvetch. My friends Sean and Sydney, and my dear, dear friend Yule, which just to call back to their show, which you have not listened to, and
No.
which they released like over 2 weeks ago, I think, and which they recorded like almost 2 months ago. So I'm sure they don't even remember this. But I do want Yule to know that like we're good. Our friendship has reconciled. They did an
Oh.
episode on podcast they listened to, and they had a little segment of like featuring things by
Oh.
people they know and their friends working on projects. So they gave us a little
Well,
shout
wonderful.
out. So we'll shout them right back. But
Well, thank
it's
you.
great. Yeah, yeah, it was delightful.
A
Because
shout out for a shout
uh-huh,
out.
I saw us linked in the show notes, and I was like, my heart started fluttering, like, oh my gosh.
We're
So,
taking off, we're
so
going somewhere.
we are so back. We're not back from anywhere. We are so here. It's just like
We
what
are
people are saying lately. I feel like
Oh, well,
everyone is so
we're
back from something, but we are back.
featured on the Oregon Unplugged website as a
Heck
resource.
yeah. What's up, Oregon? You want to know
Yeah,
what's going on in central
I have
Illinois
I've
weather?
got a
Don't
lot
listen
of
to Shooting the Breeze. Come to Millennial Month.
they're gonna be like, why is this podcast linked on our
Oh, I love
Oregon
it.
Unplugged website
I
for
love it.
advocacy and they're talking about the weather? Aren't we supposed to only be talking about screens and
That's not what I
school and
signed
ed
up
tech?
for.
No, not at all. That's just all I talk
I
about.
see,
So
uh-huh. I
those
signed
are
up
my
to
main
share my
topics.
thoughts, and here they are.
We are millennial moms with thoughts. And today we
A
just have a grab bag of them.
grab bag, a grab barg, if you
A
will,
grab barg. Is
palindromically. Anyway.
that a real word? Palindromically?
No, but it is now.
Okay, it is now.
Maybe it is for someone
Um,
somewhere. Look it up,
yes,
write it down.
sure.
Yes. What do you want to grab into this metaphorical bag? I'm may just have to go back to our texts earlier when we were like, what should we do an episode on? Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that.
Right.
But I don't know.
Well, I had just put a bunch of links and I can kind of give a
Yeah.
brief which we can include in our show notes. I In addition to podcasts, I am a frequenter of webinars, and some of
Hmm.
them I can attend live and ask questions. Sometimes you can ask them, like actually talk to the person doing the webinar. Sometimes it's just over the chat, or you can submit them ahead of time when you
Hmm.
register. But some webinars I cannot attend because they don't always work out with my schedule, but oftentimes they are recorded and posted
Hmm.
later. And so I have a list of some upcoming webinars. I picked
Oh,
four.
nice.
There were a couple others that I would have shared, but they're happening like one's tomorrow, and then there's another one Tuesday. So this will not come out until they are already
Especially if
done.
we're on the same
Well,
schedule cycle as
right.
we were this wonky last week. But yeah,
That's assuming there is no other flood
yeah,
this
yeah.
week, then I will be able to write and post on our normal timeline, which is on Wednesdays. But um, in case you don't remember, I keep a giant, ever-growing document called Links and Articles to Resources, or Links and Articles. No, yeah, links to articles and
Our
resources, distraction-free schools. Wow, I've already forgotten. Um, and it is it's approaching 20 pages. And at the top, there are a list of upcoming webinars, and then when those webinars are recorded and then shared out, I include them on the document. So there's a whole section of webinars. But anyways,
Amazing.
there's some upcoming ones, and the ones I will include are a webinar happening on August 28th at 12 p.m. Central. I do believe this one's going to be recorded, but don't hold me to that. It is from the EdTech Law Center. It's a live Q&A, EdTech and the Law with Andrew Liddell of EdTech Law Center and Emily Churkin,
Mm.
friend of the pod, also known as the Screen Time Consultant. So it's just for parents and educators and lawmakers that are hearing all about these changes to screens and digital products and all of the things. And the EdTech Law Center is going to be able to answer all of your questions. So that is on August 28th. There's another one, which I've plugged this project before and will continue to do again. It's happening in the project itself is the Unplugged project happening in October, but there is a webinar on September 16th at 1
Mm.
o'clock Eastern. So
P-Fest week,
12 o'clock
baby.
Central.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So in addition to all your pumpkins, learn about how to be unplugged uh, from
Unpumped.
technology and focus and thrive and all of the things. So there is a webinar about that project, and it's meant for anybody, but specifically for like teachers and administrators. And then get excited because the next two
Right.
are with the same person, two
Mm.
different opportunities to hear her talk, and I am
Who?
excited for both. She just had a piece come out today in the New York Times,
Ooh.
and she has a book coming out
Yeah.
September, oh, is it 8th? 6th or 8th? I
That's
think it's 8th.
soon.
I know. I already pre-ordered it, so I'm really excited to get it. On September 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern, Coding Kids,
Woo.
Big Tech's Battle to Remake Public Schools, a webinar being held by Smartphone Free Childhood US. And so that is with Natasha Singer. She's a New York Times reporter, and she has a new book coming out. Um, and I am really really excited to read this book. She's been following like education reporting with
Hmm.
technology and companies and how they've gotten into schools and all the tactics they use, and it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
And then she's doing a second webinar through the organization called Fair Play,
Hmm.
their action network, which I'm part of their Screens in Schools working group, Fair Plays, on September 30th at 6 p.m. Central. And it's the Coding Kids, How Tech Companies Infiltrated K-12 Schools and How We Can Fight Back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, that's super exciting. I will certainly mark down those dates. I'm also excited for the release of her book. She's also
yes.
keynoting at NCTE, which is the
I
National
remember you
Council for
saying
Teachers of
that.
English
Yeah.
this year. And one thing I always really appreciate about her writing and perspective is that she is a tech writer. Like her
Mm.
background is she actually has a degree in comparative literature, which is my
Oh, I
old
didn't know
stomping
that.
ground jam. But then, yeah, through her kind of trajectory, worked into technology writing. So just that perspective she brings that she is not an education writer writing about
Right.
technology.
Maybe
She
I
comes
misspoke,
from no that
but
no
yeah,
no
talking
no you
about
didn't say that. I'm
technology
just
and
yeah,
okay.
typically you would
Yeah.
assume someone who's writing so much about schools right now, is kind of coming from more of that K-12 or K-16 kind of framework,
Right.
but really it's about tech and how it is, yeah,
Yeah.
infiltrating or how it is present within school settings.
Fascinating.
So yes, no, and
Disturbing
very well
also.
researched, very just like intriguing, investigative. And I can never confidently say this word,
Yes.
investigative or investigative.
Ooh,
I know, right?
investigative.
Investigative. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Words with Helen. Um,
Yeah.
reporting. So, is that I'm going to guess that in my text messages, you sent me a gift link to an
I
article.
did. I
Is that
did.
the article by her that came out today that I clearly have not read yet, have not had a
Yes.
chance to, but you want to give me a preview, me and our listeners,
Oh,
what can we
absolutely.
expect from
The
this most recent piece?
the article that came out today, which what did we decide today was? The 23rd?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Sure. Yeah, August 23rd. How big tech captured American schools. Companies like Google and Microsoft have used their money, their might, and their massive reach to influence nearly every step of the education supply
Mm,
chain. Read it this morning. It was really good.
mm-hmm.
And there's just there are just so many pieces to this. There's just so many pieces to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, education is complicated anyways, and there's the part that kind of stuck out to me was 2013 there was a YouTube video from code.org that had Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, and it was promoting coding as an empowering lucrative skill for students. And then the video kind of went crazy and code.org went crazy, and this is a huge important skill. And then the tech industry was saying, "Hey, we don't have enough like people, skilled coders and all of this to do these jobs." And so then there was this push in
Mhm.
schools to like teach kids coding and these different technology skills. Well, and then, fast forward to today and introducing AI. It's like all of those s- coding skills, like they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to know how to do
Mm-hmm.
those anymore, apparently. And now they're pushing AI. So there's just this like wave of, well, we need this.
Mm-hmm. The
And then
hype cycle.
yes. And then that thing is replaced by something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just gets back to that question of, well, then really what is the purpose of school? Is it a preparation for the jobs and the careers and the future? We don't even know what the future careers are. And if we prepare them for this thing, well, then that thing, if that becomes obsolete, then what have we done?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really interesting article just about the kind of the playbook of big tech and how it shapes education and policy,
Mm-hmm.
really kind of like how it says at every step. Um, and it just again, it just makes you question what's the motive?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it is it benefiting a student or is it benefiting a company that now has a customer for life?
Mm-hmm.
So they do offer these, I think of like Gmail. I remember when I got my first Gmail, I was in college and they used to, colleges, universities would have to pay for their own email service. So could,
Mm-hmm.
I was like at bsu.org or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, or .edu, I mean. Um, and then, I think there was kind of talk of this is expensive and this is hard to do. And Gmail's like, hey, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
We can handle this part for you
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do it for free. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember having
Quote
my
unquote.
first, yeah, well, and then when everything gets integrated into
Mm-hmm.
the Google system, well, now you have to use the Google system because that's where everything is and that's what everyone uses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like they're doing right now in education with turning AI features on without really thoroughly alerting anyone or giving them the option of turning it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're all using this. And so because this is ours, we're just going to do what we want with it and we're not really going to ask you, is this what you want?
Mm-hmm.
And in K-12, just turning features on or manipulating different things or tweaking this or like they can just do that because everybody's using it. And are
Mm-hmm.
they automatically going to stop using it because they don't like a feature that you now have? Well, when every document you ever type on is a Google Doc and everything's
Mm-hmm.
integrated into your LMS and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just a really interesting concerning ecosystem.
Yeah, and it's been interesting for me to kind of see more of how this plays out in the higher ed space and in
Mm,
teacher education specifically, and the
yeah,
systems that we, invite teacher candidates into and that we are
right.
training them through, understanding that this is what they will be using out in the field and thus perpetuating these cycles. It's something I feel like I've become more aware of it in my own practice as well, because when even did I make the shift? I feel like undergrad, I was a Word person. And then as a teacher,
Yeah.
I became a docs person.
Remember when
But
we all
now,
used Microsoft Word
yeah,
and
yeah.
Excel and
Uh-huh. Well, see, here's the thing. So for the past many several years, as I've, been in various adjuncting spaces, bopping around between different things, going even back into when I was like teaching full-time high school while in grad school and all the things, like I kind of housed my work in the Google sphere.
hmm
But then ISU is a Microsoft school. Like we have, Outlook and Word and Excel and all the things, and we're on Teams. So like now
Okay.
in a more stable professional workplace setting, like everything is in Teams and the Microsoft SharePoint. I by the way don't know the difference between Teams, SharePoint, and the other one. There's like three,
I don't
OneDrive.
know.
There's three
Oh, I
different
don't
ways I
know.
can access the same exact files, and I pick the wrong one every time. So
Okay.
it's yeah, no, it's just a it's so interesting, and I have a larger point, but for the longest time, as I've kind of bopped around between these spaces, I've like worked out of my Google, and then I'll transfer things into
Mm,
my Microsoft world if that's where it needs to go ultimately. And
yeah.
finally, with this new position, I have said like, no, I am just going to make my life simpler and just work in the one space. So sometimes I'm like
Yeah.
trying to, translate previous things that are in my Google Drive, bringing them over into here and whatever. But now I've lost my larger point, Jordan. What was my larger point? that it's so problematic when we get tied to a particular software or a particular company's way of
Yeah.
saving things or whatever. Because I just know people who, you know, it feels almost proprietary. And actually, a great example too is that our university, right at the end of summer, just before the new school year began, announced that there were some major licensing changes with Adobe. So,
Hmm.
whereas everyone in the past, if you had an account, you got free Creative Cloud access and like access to all of Photoshop,
Say the
InDesign,
suite of
Premiere
products.
Pro. Like that's how I did my whole video series was through Premiere Pro, which I got free
Right.
through my university. And then suddenly, oops, nope, we can't do that anymore because they have made their licensing untenable for
Hmm.
a university. So faculty had to submit requests, like if this is something that is necessary to your teaching or
Oh,
research, like what
yeah.
do you need and why do you need it? And then they combed through these and prioritized and doled out this finite number of
Hmm.
licenses. Labs will have certain things like, public access in various spaces. But yeah, I mean, just hearing, that wasn't something that necessarily affected me personally. I didn't have the bandwidth to even think about like, do I need these things? Should I apply for a I just
Yeah.
didn't. But yeah, it's a great demonstration of like what happens when we tie our ways of knowing and our ways of doing to certain products. And when that product is taken away from us, how we feel personally
Hmm.
threatened and personally impacted. Like, no, but that was mine, right? Like,
Right.
that's my workspace or that's
Right.
my place of thinking and doing. And I own that. It makes you realize, like, you don't own that. A, in this
No.
case, the university owns it, but B, the company owns
Yeah.
that
And they can make
space.
changes and
And
you
these are the
just have to
things
go
that,
with it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, like in the work I'm doing now with AI literacies and teacher expertise, in a way, it all comes back to like rehoning our personal expertise and trust in our own ways of doing.
Yeah.
Like even in my small example of like it doesn't matter if I'm typing in a Google Doc or a Word document that like these are my thoughts.
Hmm.
I can also write them down on a piece of paper, but like all of it is coming from me and my intellect. It is not dependent on where the toolbar is located or what
Yes.
font I'm writing in
Yes.
or what AI suggestions are coming up for the next word. Like, I, in fact, would like to write without any of those features on. And that's what scares me of like the dependencies that
Yeah.
these things are creating because from a student's perspective, it's like if you only write relying on predictive word or Grammarly or whatever kind of
Yeah.
things, like at what cost? Like how will
Where are
you
your
do when
own
that's
thoughts?
not there? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Can you do it completely on, and that's the point, is doing it completely on your own first. The struggle is part
Hmm.
of the learning process,
Hmm.
and questioning, is this a good sentence? Is this a good thought? Like
Hmm.
that is part of it. But if you're always going to, well, the auto suggest said I should type this or write
Hmm.
this, so I'll
Hmm.
just go with that.
Or I
That
should
sounds
correct,
good.
even if I've written it first, I've written it on my own the first time around, but I always put it through this, you know,
Hmm.
grammar checker or whatever it is, like then yeah, it raises some interesting questions.
Yeah.
And these, the longer term impacts are certainly what I think about. But I'm also realizing I gotta share the policy that I instituted this week. So this was first week of classes for me, first week, with
Yes.
students.
Will you for our listeners,
Yes.
loyal and otherwise, loyal and soon to be loyal,
Unloyalists, yeah.
explain what your new
Oh my
position
gosh.
is?
Well, I don't know if I
Or
can,
can
but
you?
yeah,
Can
I
you
will give it.
explain what you're doing?
Yes. So my official title is the clinical coordinator for the English education program at Illinois State University. Essentially, I I work with future teachers is the simple way of putting it, or I support future teachers because I'm not just working with our like the university students themselves, but I also oversee people like our field instructors, aka university supervisors, who oversee our student teachers. So,
Okay.
like, we have 30 something student teachers all across the state right now. And then all throughout the semester, we have field instructors who go in to observe. So, like, if they're up in the Chicagoland area, I have a Chicagoland supervisor, and
Okay.
I am like I oversee. I guess I feel
Manage
I
or
manage. Yeah, I
yeah, coordinate.
coordinate. Yeah, that's what's in my title, huh? I
Right.
coordinate those folks, but I'm also like the connecting point for the student teachers. Like if something's going wrong in their school or they have questions that come up, like I am basically the contact person for a variety of stakeholders across
Okay.
the English education program.
So
Yeah,
these
yeah,
are
which is
future
future
English
high school English teachers.
teachers. Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean it's a very dynamic position, and the fact that like I cannot fathom that today is what we decide August 24th. I started
Third.
at the start of the month. Yeah, I don't know where I am. I don't know. Like
It's August 23rd.
but the variety of things that like every day has brought has been really cool and exciting for me.
Yeah.
And before I get to the classes I teach, this previous week we had our first student teaching seminar, which is when all of those student teachers who are out across the state come back to campus for a
Okay.
full day of class, essentially, where they work through different things, kind of share out about their experiences, do some collective reflection or work on crafting unit plans and things along those lines. So being able, I don't lead that, but I'm also like around because that's what I do. I'm coordinating, making sure everyone's where they need to be and knowing what they need to know. But just being in that space with the student teachers and then also with the supervisors that day was just so like, ugh, like it's been a lot of desk work so far,
Hmm.
but being in that space with those folks was so affirming of like, this is why. This is why I'm sending all those emails and
Yeah.
reading all those policies and writing all of those docs or whatever the
Yeah.
things. It's to make stuff like this happen. And so it's been cool to be part of all the kind of behind the scenes work
Hmm.
that puts amazing teachers out into schools for the future generation of learners. It's
Yeah.
genuinely really exciting to be part of.
I
But
bet.
another one of my responsibilities is teaching. Um,
Yeah. What are
so
you
I
teaching this
I
semester?
have 194 and 296.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
that say enough? Um,
Not to me. Not to me.
I will share too many more details than you need, I suppose. But there's three English education courses that they take over the course. You know, they're taking their major courses. They take
Yeah.
school or they take courses in the College of Ed, but then there's three courses they take kind of in their last few semesters before they start student teaching. And I have the first and second in that sequence, but I have the lab sections. So someone else teaches the lecture portion,
Got it.
where for one of the classes is our reading methods course, teaching diverse readers and texts. And so on one day they see the other instructor and they do more of the theory of like talking about the theory and the pedagogy of reading and
Okay.
all the things that go with that, what it means to be a diverse reader, what it means to teach diverse texts, and all that.
Yeah.
In the lab section with me, that's where we do like the practice. We practice implementing this theory, implementing these skills, and ultimately I take them out into local schools and I kind
Oh,
of mentor, guide their clinical experiences. But for the first couple weeks, we'll be still like on campus in a classroom. And I have decided that this will be tech free time. I said, like, we are going to go
oh,
as low tech, if not no tech, as possible, by which I mean no cell phones. You do not need laptops in here, no other personal devices.
yeah,
And, you know, I framed it or I justified it a bit, saying, like, okay, SB 2427. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but like the schools that you will be teaching in
right.
will, by state law, not allow students to have phones. And that
Yeah,
may be a very different experience than you had as
yeah.
a high school student. Maybe not. Maybe
Amazing.
you were in a school that was already doing this, but I'm going to guess that for many of you,
Probably not.
thinking about living a full day without your phone, without access to your phone, right? Is would be different.
Yeah. Because
But
these
I
are what,
think
like
it's in
20,
these
21-year-olds?
mhm. Yeah, these
Yeah.
are mostly some
21.
sophomores, mostly juniors, maybe a senior or two in there.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's like they've been living through it, you know?
Yeah.
And I just told them like I feel like you need that experience as a learner. For one, you know, just so you can understand and empathize, but also I think we can all recognize that we're all a little too dependent on our phones and
Totally.
on
Yeah.
devices. So in this space, which one is a Wednesday morning class, the other is Friday afternoon, and like
Ooh.
the literal, like you could see the physical relief when I told them this. They're just
Wow.
like almost, I don't want to say I've sensed their gratitude, but like they were all nodding and smiling, like, yeah, yeah, like Friday afternoons. Give me two
No.
hours, no
Wow.
phones. I said, I'm gonna have
Uninterrupted.
slides up here.
Yeah.
I have my presentation so that we can stay on track, so that we
Sure.
have, if there's shared materials, things we need to look at together, that's gonna be up
Yeah.
here. Anything else, I'll provide paper
You're using
copies.
the intention or
Or
the tech intentionally.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, again, this is week one when they're meeting this new professor for
Still,
the first time, but they
you're
seemed
setting the
very
stage.
receptive to it. And I said it works for a class like this because, again, this is about practicing the skills.
Right.
We need to make sure we can be present human beings with each other in this space. And then when you're out in the schools, like
You're not going to be
you're
on your
not gonna be
phones.
on you better not,
Well,
right?
yeah.
That's what it's like because I've seen it. It's like no, that's a dependence. If you don't think like you may not even realize what you're
Yeah.
doing when you're pulling that thing out, but like you do not need a screen between yourself and your students. So let's
Yeah.
practice this now in this safe space together so that when we go forth into the world, yeah, I
Amazing.
knew you would love that. I
Of course
also
I
did
would.
include a picture of Luke Danes with his no cell phone sign behind him on the slide. And in both classes, I got like a so that's really all I needed.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah,
okay, I know who
I'll
the real
be.
ones are in here.
Will you do any kind of a survey? Um, you know, I know most professors have some
Mm-hmm.
kind of an end of course,
Mm-hmm.
survey. I'm sure all universities probably make that
Mm-hmm.
happen. But has a question about
Yeah.
like, did this, no tech or low
Yeah.
tech policy
Mm-hmm.
improve or,
Mm-hmm.
what was your feedback on that? I'd be curious
That's a good,
to
yeah, I would like to. Because
just,
I'll do like the general course evaluation, which
yeah.
usually aren't very
Yeah, they're
in
kind of
depth or genuine,
bleh.
but like when I do in class reflection or like writing to me specifically, that would be a great question to ask. I'll
Yeah, or even just a
be
standalone
curious.
thing, like as the
Yeah.
last part of class, like what
Mm-hmm.
was the impact of not
Mm-hmm.
having tech
Mm-hmm.
in this lab, hands-on class?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
how did it change
Yeah.
your your work?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
Look
how
at
it
you
plays
pulling out
out.
SB 2427.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I feel like one time I called it Senate bill, and one time my head wants it to be state bill because it's SB, but it is
Oh,
Senate bill, right?
yeah.
SB stands for Senate.
Yeah. But it's
I
for the
like got in my it's for
state.
the state, yeah. And they, if you can say anything confidently, and
Yeah.
that's the number one
I'm
lesson,
just
future
impressed you got the
teachers.
numbers. So there you go.
Well, I practiced.
2427.
24,
Yeah, there's a lot of
27.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of legislation, we're
Yeah.
gearing up for
Uh-huh.
the next session, and now is the time that myself and my co-lead and our team members are, kind of getting prepared
Mm,
for sending these model bills to
cool.
legislators and having meetings, and that's a whole new experience for me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Doing the work, man. I thought you were going to bring up there's meta trials again going on right
oh, well,
now.
there's
I
that too.
haven't
Yeah.
heard a ton about it other than that it's going on. But
Well, there's a lot of states that are ticked at Meta. I'll just and are taking them to task, taking them to court.
taking them
Uh,
down.
Yeah, and
So aggressive.
it's going to require significant financial
Mhm.
loss or threat of significant financial loss for Meta
Mhm.
to do because that's unfortunately what's going to make a change. It's not that there continues to be a growing number of families suffering the horrendous loss of a child
Mhm.
due to social media harms. That's not going to move the needle apparently, but money will. So and government regulation, and not that that's always the answer to every single thing, but
Yeah,
in
it's
this
tricky.
case
It's tricky.
it sure
Yeah.
is because it's a product that is harming people.
Mhm.
I've said it before, if there was a car seat that was killing children at the rate that Meta is, that car seat would not be on the market. It would have been pulled and there would be lawsuits for days. And yet here we are, and kids are still dying, and Meta is not changing a darn thing, or says they are.
Mhm.
I don't remember which report it was, so I can't even make a make a summary of it, but it was essentially saying, these claims of safety and protection and all these tools that they say are in these teen accounts, or safety features, like they either don't work, they're really difficult to
Mhm.
find or turn on and use, or they just said that they made them and they never did. So,
Mhm.
you
In the
know,
same breath, have you heard about Instagram Plus?
no,
I
what's
just
Instagram
recently I heard
Plus?
I listened to a whole
Oh
through line episode
no.
about it. It is a monthly subscription
Of course it is.
to offer features that like how to say is things that people are doing already or using Instagram for already, but commodifying it basically, or like workarounds that you
Mm,
can do through third party apps, and so then they're like reclaiming it and charging you for it. So things like, for example, you can have
I'm looking it up.
multiple close friends lists. So say I'm like crushing on guy and I want to post my like honeypot thirst trap.
I love
And then
that
I
you
want,
just said that.
well, I'm using the
You're speaking the
language.
lingo. Yeah.
Um,
Is
but
this a
I
Finsta or a
so
Rinsta?
this is my is that a real one? Is a Rinsta? My
I
actual Instagram.
I don't know what either one is actually for.
But you know what a
I
honeypot
remember.
thirst trap is. I'm probably
I
not
know what a
supposed to use both
thirst
of
trap
them. Yeah.
is, but I don't
Okay.
know
Well,
what a honeypot is.
you can just it's the same thing.
I'll Google it. Okay.
Um, urbandictionary.com.
Yikes.
Um, but I want, this person to think that, oh, I'm just sharing this with like all of my close friends.
Oh,
Whereas really, like to them, they don't know that they're on this
they
special
don't know
list.
they're
It
on the
just shows that you're
list.
in my close friends.
Gotcha.
So then they don't know that this is just targeted going to only them rather
So
than I don't
much
want to.
work.
So there's
So
that.
much
You
work.
can search your views. You know how like on your stories, you can see who all viewed your stories, but say you have
Yes.
like thousands of followers. You have to scroll, scroll,
I do
scroll to
not.
see if I know. I know. So that's who this is for. It's
Okay. Okay.
for people who are either doing shade, and power to them if you're still in the you're in the dating world and navigating this alongside that. Can't
Yikes.
imagine. So it's like catering to that in ways. It's
Okay.
catering to
Yeah, I've looked this up,
influencer
and
and yeah.
they posted it on June 4th of
Okay.
this year.
Yes.
Instagram Plus is a new subscription designed
Uh-huh.
to give you more of what you love about
Uh-huh.
Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Exclusive features help you express yourself, connect
Yes.
deeper with friends, and
Yes.
customize your
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Instagram you know and love isn't changing. The subscription is simply an optional upgrade for people who want more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it makes me wonder, okay, so at what point are you going to start restricting what
Well,
like that's also playbook, right? I think about
totally. Give it free
Strava.
first.
Yeah.
Yep.
The running app I use like used to
Yeah, I heard
just
you talk
as far as
about
I
that.
know, fully free. Then they started offering Strava Premium so you could do more. Then
Yep.
they started taking away features from the free account and put things that you
Yes.
could used to be able to do for free are now
So you're hooked on
part of
those
the
features and
yeah.
they're part of your
Yep.
day-to-day
Yeah.
life.
Once
And then it's like, wait a
again.
minute,
Oh
what?
my gosh. It all stinking connects because it's all playbook. It's all the same thing.
It
And that's
totally
why,
is.
as Natasha Singer so beautifully points out, like this is happening in schools.
Yeah.
So the more
Yeah.
we can just articulate and name what we see happening in these big tech spaces and understanding the parallels, not even parallels, it's just the same moves happening
Yeah.
through ed tech and in
Wash,
schools, the
rinse,
more
repeat.
critical we can be. It's not always awful, it's not always terrible, but we have to be mindful, we have to be aware, we
Yeah.
have to make decisions for
Who
ourselves.
benefits? That's the question. Who benefits from this?
Mhm.
Well, did
I
we
think we
cover
did
enough in
it.
our
Did
grab
we
bag
grab into
of
this?
we
Did we even? I'm not even like holding the bag, man. It's
I don't have a bag. I don't. I mean, that's not true. I have a ton of bags. I have way too many bags. I went
Uh,
through a purse phase and
really.
oh yeah.
I'm picturing like crossbody. It's got like a little clasps on it. What was your bag phase? What's
No,
your bag of
like
choice? Mm.
handbags. I mean, I had some crossbodies. Yeah, I went through a crossbody phase, but before that, it was like purses. Like like lady
Yeah.
purses. But,
You
I'm like in my early 20s. I'm like I have so but I also really do you remember the brand? Well, of course you do. The Paul Frank monkey, Julius
yeah.
monkey.
Lisa Frank.
I
Wait, no, Paul Frank,
Paul
different.
Frank is
Paul
not
Frank.
Lisa
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah,
Paul Frank is
yeah. Do you
Julius
think they're
monkey.
related?
They should be. In my mind, they now are.
Yeah.
They're brother and sister.
I mean, they exist in the same
She's
pocket of
got a
my brain. I just
unicorn.
assumed.
He's got a
Yeah.
monkey. It's Julius
Yes.
Monkey. There's a whole system of these
Yeah.
great characters. Clancy the giraffe. Anyways, I went
You
real.
went deep,
I was
deep
big
into the
into Paul
lore.
Frank. It was the graphics. They were just so cool.
Yeah.
I have so many. They're amazingly great shape. I have all these now vintage
Hmm.
Paul Frank t-shirts. I mean like 40, I don't know, so many. But I also bought all of the bags and like the
Hmm.
purses and they're like that kind of pleather,
Yeah.
they're cool. If I can, I don't even know where they all are. Some might be at my parents' house, some might be here in our basement, hopefully still okay and not molded. Because
Poor Paul.
they're cool, and I took
Yeah.
really, really good care of them.
Nice.
I've got some messenger bags.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just realized something. I was chuckling to myself, realizing that if you want to understand my purse style, and how it has not changed through the ages, a former, like an ex of mine, his grandma and I had the same purse. I always remember thinking that was so sweet. Like, yeah, you got that
Really
at
funny.
Kohl's? Yeah, yeah, I got that at Kohl's.
Yeah.
And now my mother-in-law and I have basically not quite the same purse. We were both eyeing
Nice.
the same purse at Kohl's. She got
Okay.
the one that I didn't, that they were like my number two, and then I got this blue one. She's like, "Oh, that's really fun."
That's
So,
fine.
yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, my style is yes, Kohl's purses that your grandma or
Your grandma also
mother-in-law
likes. It's
would
totally
wear.
fine.
Your
Hey,
mother-in-law, who's now
style
a
is
grandma, so I
style.
feel like that's all fair.
Style
Style is
is
style. Some
style.
of us
You
are
like
just,
what you
I've said
like.
it before, I'm a 30-something-year-old in a 70-something-year-old's body. And then every day I am getting closer to my prime form. And I can't wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Can I tell you, I quickly, because I wanted to make sure I was getting it right, I Googled Paul
Hmm.
Frank purses.
Yeah.
I am being thrown back. I can feel that, like I'm looking at these pictures and I can feel how they still feel. They are so stinking cool. And I now want to go find them. And I also might want to list them on eBay because they are worth so much money. Oh my gosh. And I know that mine are in better shape than the one that I'm looking at. So,
Nice. Well, link it
anyways,
in our show notes.
all my Paul Frank purse. I'm gonna have to track
And
those
it's
down.
all about capitalism, baby. Well, this has been another episode
Yeah.
of Millennial
No,
Moms. What
no.
was the what name of the other millennials are destroying capitalism? Something like that show that came up last year.
So are we
Should I check our
millennials who love?
reviews? What if
Oh,
people
I
have
haven't
seen?
checked.
Well, I'm gonna guess that because we
Oh
didn't put out an
no.
episode
Oh, that's true.
last week, I
Nobody's
don't
added the
know.
reviews.
But maybe.
Because I had a flood, people.
Well, I
And I
need to see
couldn't.
you. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. But
We're
you had said that
fine.
you wrote a review and that didn't
I
come
did.
up. Who doesn't love these millennials? That was
Oh, that's
you.
me. That's me. Okay, so
Call
it's
me
there now.
biased.
Biased.
Oh, you're funny. All right, so we're at three.
We're at 3. We
I
need
guess if
4
I write
more.
us a review, it's four. We can get Mitch to write one five, Brian to write one six. You, listener, could be the fabulous number seven. And then
Okay.
I'll share my first day of school, seventh grade story. don't let us get too far away from the start of the school year, or else then it's just not topical and it's not fun, and you'll have to wait an entire another year. On that
And
note,
on that
get me
note,
out of here.
get outside. Stay out of my backyard because it stinks. So go in your own and touch the grass. Hopefully that isn't covered in dead rotting worms. Yay!
And enjoy this podcast music by Shopback Extraordinaire, Brian Spickelmeyer, Jordan Spickelmeyer. Also, I owe Brian a cold brew. But anyway, enjoy his music. He's fabulous. And Jordan Spickelmeyer does social media. I'm Plevka-Jones. I edit the audio, and we will catch you on the flippity flip.